So I'm standing with someone who just went to TOEFL. He's going to tell us 3 things that he found were really good.
Are you
Something?
you already recording?
First thing to do when you want to look for authentic listening.
Authentic listening.
Authentic
Sources. However, you also want authentic writing, not writing for ESL, because people when they write for ESL, they're different motivated.
Right.
People who are writing for native speakers, because that's true language.
So like a letter from the governor?
A letter from the governor, maybe an article.
Letter to the editor?
Letter to the editor, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Real, true.
There's a purpose, a true
There's
purpose.
A purpose, not necessarily for a teaching purpose.
Persuading?
Yes, persuading is good.
Trying to slough someone off. I got a great letter from a governor, the governor's office. It was like, don't bother us anymore.
I got one of those too. I think that, but authentic text, also authentic conversation.
Which is you record somebody with their permission while you're at the post office, something like this, and you bring that into the classroom.
Right, and as Fred talks about, a lot of gestures are being used, and a lot of signaling is used.
Which you don't get if you're reading a made-for ESOL. And
exactly.
Some of those made-for ESOL videos are so staged.
Yes, staged is because it's not authentic language.
Right.
So you need to...
Because we want to have the grammar exposed.
Right. One of the things we talked about was the idea of authentic grammar. Grammar we really use, not grammar that somebody thought through academic who's over time has been told us what grammar is, but what really is grammar in an empirical way to understand grammar by taking text, authentic text, by taking authentic conversation and actually breaking them down and analyzing them to see what true grammar is and just not what is assumed to be it by an expert.
So we can take things off of the TV.
Yes.
You gave the example of doing something with Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curbing things that are not. You want to kind of as least scripted as you can. Interview programs.
Oh, right.
Perfect conversation. Maybe it's partly scripted because you have the interviewer who has questions already written down, but how he's going to deliver them is not necessarily scripted.
Right.
He's reading off bullet points, and definitely. Maybe sometimes David Letterman, I would say some of the stories have been told and retold, so it's scripted stories.
Right.
But maybe a Charlie Rose type interview, or an interview, a man on the street interview. Yeah,
Rose is good because he'll often say, "Now, what I've seen in the press about you is, can you tell that story again from your point of view?"
Yes.
And,
yeah, so it's not just.
You're able to watch the guy's face as he says, "We've heard you took money."
It's not necessarily a rehashing, and it's good.
Right.
But I just think.
Okay, and your example with Curb Your Enthusiasm, you said there's 4.
Oh, you have 4. I had 4 listens. I had a first listen of silent listening for predicting. Second listening was one without subtitles to see if what you're hearing matched your predicting.
Without subtitles, so you're just listening. Okay.
Then the third time was with subtitles to fill in some of the gaps. And then the fourth time was without subtitles, trying to understand and trying to decipher that now at this point with 3 listens, subtitles, predicting, and just by listening, if you could understand better the 4th time.
Right. And after the second time, you stop it and you have a little discussion. You say that's the first time you've heard it.
Yes. Before you predicting, I unfortunately didn't do this, but I think some of, I'd call it cultural specialties like that we have. For instance, there was Girls Gone Wild on it. It had a segment about Girls Gone Wild.
You're going to have to get into that.
And you have to explain that culturally what it is. And there's other things.
They went to Africa.
Yes. You need what else do you need? For instance, Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy is in it. So some of the vocabulary you kind of need to give them beforehand, because if it's not something they would understand, it really confuses them.
Authentic listening does not mean easy time for teacher.
Right, no, authentic, it's actually more active because you have to prepare, not only are you preparing a lesson, but you have to watch it yourself. And what you have to do is you have to narrow it down so they understand what the purpose is for listening and what they are. And just not we're listening to the whole thing, but we're listening for a specific, each time you listen to for a specific purpose. And that purpose widens with each time till hopefully at the end you have understanding.
Great. For more on this, come to the workshop.